everybody, and welcome to another Doctor Who review. You got two this month. Lucky things. Yes, this time I'm doing a review with the Fourth Doctor, Tom Baker. We're going to review the horror of Fang Rock. As always, with a classic series review, I have here the television companion, and I'm about to read the plot synopsis for the story. The TARDIS arrives in Fang Rock, a small island off the English coast, around the start of the 20th century. The Doctor and Leela seek shelter at a lighthouse, where the island's only inhabitants, Ben, Vince and Reuben, operate the recently installed electric lamp to warn ships off the treacherous rocks. Vince has just seen a bright object fall from the sky and into the sea. Ben then disappears, and his body is later discovered hidden behind the generator. He has been electrocuted. A passing ship crashes onto the rocks as a freak fog bank descends, and the survivors, Colonel Skinsale, Lord Palmerdale, Adelaide Lesage, and Harker, stumble into the lighthouse. There they find themselves prey to Rutan, one of the race engaged in the perennial war with the Sontarans, whose spaceship has crashed into the sea. The Rutan can change its form at will and has been masquerading as Reuben, having killed the Old Keeper and hidden his body. Vince and the wreck survivors are also killed, but the Doctor fights back by blasting the Rutan, now reverted to its natural form of an amorphous jelly, with a makeshift mortar bomb. The Doctor then rigs up the lighthouse lamp with a diamond taken from the cache by the now dead Palmerdale, thereby creating a powerful laser beam to destroy the approaching Rutan mothership. So, there we are, the first story of season 15, and it is the tail end legacy of the Peter Hinchcliffe era. Graham Williams produces this story for the first time, but it's very much of the gothic horror of the previous era. It's still a hangover of that. Written by Terence Dix, it is a kind of interesting historical take on the base under siege. This time the base, of course, is a lighthouse, and all those claustrophobic corridors and the winding stairwell make it an interesting story overall. Quite a small set as well. The light gantry is actually probably the best bit of the set they've made, and they've got green screen in the back or blue screen in the back, chroma key, and it's the chroma key is quite effective with the fog. It's also quite effective at the beginning when Vince looks out and sees the spaceship crashing, and you see the dusk in the background. That works quite well. Some other times it doesn't. Anytime Tom Baker's hair is the green screen, you see the haze, but that's going to happen. Just the nature of the technology at the time, but it's done pretty well. But the character cast is quite small. There's only 8 characters in this whole story. 9 characters in this whole story. The 3 lighthouse keepers, the 4 that are on the ship, the Doctor and Leela. And those are the 9. And they get picked off one by one, and the Doctor and Leela are the only ones left at the end. Nice bit of suspense. Quite well paced. There's certainly good development in each part of it. You get the situation at the end of the first episode with the ship crashing. The cliffhanger at the end of the second episode is Reuben being killed by the Rutan. The third one comes from the fact that you have the Doctor finding out that they've locked the enemy in instead of the enemy out when he finds the actual body of Reuben, not the not the changeling version, the chameleon version. I can't say my words in these reviews. It's terrible at the moment, guys. Please excuse me. So yeah, no, I like the story for its pace, its tone. Terence Dix is always good at having good plotted stories. This is his last contribution until State of Decay, which is 3 years down the line, and his second last contribution to the series as a whole. It's very much in the Gothic style that preceded it before Towns of Wen China. It's nice to move forward only maybe 20 years or so from that period into the early 1900s, the Edwardian era, and there's still very much that class system sitting there at that point, and the technology of electricity coming in, and the fact that Reuben goes back to the fact that oil was better when he was younger, and all that allusion to, people being scared of technology is quite a nice allegory that you get now, never mind then. But going on to the cast, let's have a look at the cast here. So you got the Doctor, Tom Baker, in his pomp, in his flight. Tom Baker always works better for me when his brooding side than his comedy side that you start to see through this season coming up into the beginning of season 18. I always preferred the times where if he was being funny or comical, it's been done under a dark undertone because it always works better. And Tom just works well in this story as a whole. The companionship with Leela is still the teacher, still the teacher student mentality, which is expanded on a hell of a lot more in the Seventh Doctor and Ace's era, and that sort of idea. But this is where it stems from: is the Doctor Leela idea, him teaching Leela things, and I do like Tom Baker's Doctor at this point. It's from here onwards he starts to go less to the Doctor I like. I don't mind him in series season 18, but he can be a bit silly from now on in. The jokes come a bit thicker and faster after this, but this one's not bad. It's still got a lot there, and it's certainly, I think it's the pomp. I think it's the height of Tom Baker. If he'd left after the season, I don't think it would have been much different. To be fair, it would have been a good thing. But he didn't, he stayed, and I did enjoy the character. I do enjoy the character at this point, but Tom Baker is certainly a development in the Fourth Doctor's character, and he's still lovable at this point. Leela, Louise Jameson's role is very, very developed by this point. She's 4 stories in. So what she's had Face of Evil, Robots of Death, Talents of Wang Chang. This is her 4th story. Interesting fact, obviously at this point, she must have been fed up with the contacts that she was wearing. Either that or the BBC ran out of budget. Because they actually write it in the end of the story where the explosion of the Rutan mothership changes the pigment of her eye colour. And it changes it to her actual eye colour, which is blue. So they obviously saved a lot on contacts going forward. So I like that thing here. But I like Leela's character here. She's inquisitive. There is that savage element that they have there that, think of killing first. But there's that intelligence there that Leela still has at this point. Most companions kind of lose their edge in the first couple of stories. But Leela still has that intelligent edge there, and you can see this intelligence there. And I do like Leela for one fact. She slaps Adelaide, who annoys the hell out of me in this story, and I'll go into that later. But then you got the supporting cast of Lighthouse. So you've got Vince, played by John Abbott. Very unsure, very uncertain, young lighthouse keeper. He's only just starting it now on his tour. That's what they insinuate at the beginning. It's nice to have that character. He's impressionable. He is impressionable what he does, and I do like the way that John Abbott portrays him. You endear to him, and it's a shame when he does get killed. Then you got Reuben, played by Colin Douglas, who also voices the Rutan later on. I like this old man thing who's a bit fearful, but still has that soft side, but is a bit fear of technology a little bit, and disdaining of the electric keep going out and the generator keep going out all the time. It's a coal-fired generator as well. It's an interesting situation, but I like that, and the conversation that he and Ben have at the beginning about the discussion about the change of technology is quite well done, and I like that. And it's a shame that Ben doesn't last longer than halfway through the first episode, but he's there as the first kill. He's there as the first death. And Doctor Who doesn't have death in it, then there's something quality wrong with the story. Then we've got the cast that come in from the ship from the 2nd episode onwards. We've got Sean Caffrey's Lord Palmerdale. Quite a miserable, snivelly, conniving little character, and you really are rooting for him to die when he does, because he's quite a horrible man. He really is. I don't like the character. He plays it well, but he's one of these characters you're egging on to actually die, because he's such a selfish so-and-so. You then got Colonel Skinsale, played by Alan Rowe. This isn't the first time Alan Rowe's played a character in the series. He does play a couple of other characters, I think, before this. He's in the series a couple of times. But this one, affable, fairly likeable gentry. It's a shame when he passes it, although his greed gets the better of him. That's how he dies. So I like that element of it, because it's right at the end where they get the diamonds from Palmerdale's money belt. That they find that he's picking up all the diamonds that the Doctor just nonchalantly chucks away. Just shows the Doctor's not interested in money. He's interested in the signs of the diamond that they used to help destroy everything. Help destroy the Rutan mothership, but I like, his just desserts of his death is there. Then we have Harker, the one of the shipmates. He's not the captain of the ship, but he is one of the shipmates, one of the crew, and he comes online, and he's like the dog's body. He's quite an affable fellow. Rio Fanning does well with what he's got, but he doesn't have much. Let's be honest. And then we have Annette Willits Adelaide, and she brings the story down. I know she's designed to be the screamer and the panicker and all that, but oh, she grates. She's such a moany so-and-so. She really is, and I don't like that character. And it works well because you've got Leela there playing off that. It's deliberate, of course, but Leela's off there, and she's rolling her eyes and sighing. And there's one bit when Adelaide gets hysterical after finding out that that Harker dies. She screams, and Leela goes whack and slaps her. That's one of my favourite bits of the story. I do like it. And then you've got, obviously, Colin Douglas doing the voice of the Rutan. It's the only time we see the Rutans in their form in the series. And it's alluded to at this point that the Rutans are losing. They're not winning against the Sontarans. And the fact that the Earth's going to be a staging post for the strategic battle with the Sontarans. Not a quite good design. I like the fact that obviously it can metamorphosize, so that makes it a bit easier production-wise for everything. And the effect works quite well for this overall. But they seem to be quite intelligent beings, and they use a little. You see them from their view multiple times throughout the story, but you really don't see the Rutan that much until the fourth episode. You do see bits of it as time goes on, but it's used per spell, and that's the best Doctor Who, where you don't see the monster that much. Not because of budgetary factors. The budget and the design is actually pretty decent, apart from the CSO, apart from the chroma key parts. Production-wise, it's actually pretty solid. This is Dudley Simpson in his horns and cymbals era, where it's very pompous. It's still not grating at this point, and he is still using a synthesizer at little points here, but it's more like an organ now, Hammond organ type sound, and it helps fill that out. And it's still that style. It's still Doctor Who music as you're used to hearing it, and it's certainly the style that most people are relating to at this point. But it's okay. It's not the worst. It's not the best. This is another story directed by Paddy Russell. She directed a few. Horror of Fang Rock's one of her last, if I remember rightly. I think it's one more she directs after this. But I enjoy. It's solid enough. It's obviously multi-camera, but it's solid enough. It's all most of it is studio, and if there is anything outside, I think it's at Ealing or is it Pebble Mill, because some of this was filmed at Pebble Mill apparently, in Birmingham. The studio's in Birmingham. The only time it was actually filmed there. And the film is obviously Ealing based, or it's done on a studio set. You can tell that, but it's pretty solid production, pretty solid filming in that respect. And overall, the direction is quite well done as well. Overall, I do like the story. It is one of the ones I will go back to and watch on a regular basis if I want a Tom Baker. It's certainly the era of Tom Baker I actually like. There's bits either side I'm not quite keen on. Certainly a lot after this that I'm not keen on. But overall, I give this a rating of 4 TARDISes out of 5. So let's see how that fares along with all the other reviews so far. The Horror of Fang Rock sits in with good company. Other reviews that have 4 TARDISes out of 5 include The Visitation, The Green Death, The Empty Child the Doctor Dances, An Unearthly Child, The Mind Robber, The Power of the Daleks, and Spearhead from Space. With 3 out of 5 TARDISes at the bottom, it's still The Idiot's Lantern and Battlefield. That's it. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and share it with the hashtag teamstructor. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think of the Horror of Fang Rock. Give me your review and idea of it as well. If you like this channel as a whole, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also hit the notifications bell so you know when the video comes out. New video does come out every Sunday. General rule, 4 PM GMT. Next week, we have a Kidstructor. Another one with me alongside Jamie and Fraser. You'll have to find out what it is. I'm not going to tell you right now, but I hope you'll join me for that. Until next time, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you later.